Hello there, welcome to ShineTech's YouTube channel, and in this video we'll go through biology paper 1 multiple choice questions, which was written in 10th August 2023. So question 1 reads, some lizards detach their tails when threatened by a predator. Which characteristic of living organism is shown? Some lizards detach their tails when threatened by a predator. Which characteristic of living organism is shown? A. Excretion. B. Growth. C. Reproduction. D. Sensitivity. So these are characteristics of living organisms. But now, looking at our question here, we have these lizards, some of these lizards. So when a predator tries to catch these lizards, what will happen is that their tails will be detached and the lizards will survive. So that characteristic of living organism which is portrayed by this phenomenon is sensitivity. Why? Because upon being touched by a predator, a lizard will react. So we have a lizard tail will be sensitive. So it will sense the danger and detached. Okay, so the correct answer here for question 1 is D. Question 2. The diagram show a plant and an animal cell. So these diagrams here are showing a plant and an animal cell. So the question continues to say, which of the labeled structure is found in both cells? Which of the labeled structure is found in both cells? A. W. B. X. C. Y. D. Z. So now, let's first label these parts of the plant cell and also the animal cell. So in a plant cell, W there represents a cell wall, and we know that cell wall is only in plant cells. Then X here we have the chlorophyll there, okay, and then we have Z, which is the vacuoles. So a vacuole mostly is found in a plant cell. So X is the chloroplast. Okay, that is the chloroplast in which chlorophyll is contained. Then Y here is the cytoplasm. Y is the cytoplasm. So the cytoplasm, which is Y, is found in both plant and animal cell. So the correct answer here is C. So C is a structure which is found in both cells. In a plant cell, there is cytoplasm, and in animal cell there is cytoplasm. So the correct answer is C. So we move on to question number 3. So question number 3. Which of the following is not a tissue? Which of the following is not a tissue? A. Blood. B. Epidermis. C. Leaf. D. Muscle. So blood is a tissue. Okay, so in this case now, what is a tissue? So a tissue is a group of similar cells performing a function. A tissue is a group of similar cells performing a function. So in blood, we have similar cells. We have blood cells. Okay, so those are similar cells performing a function. Epidermis, we have epithelial cells. They are similar cells. In a muscle, you're going to find muscle cells. But in a leaf, we have different types of cells which are working together. So C is not a tissue. Why? Because we have different cells. We have the spongy mesophyll cells, we have the palisade cells, we have the gut cells, which forms the stomata of the leaf. So C is not a tissue. Okay, but blood, epidermis, and muscle, these are tissues. So the correct answer for question 3 is C. C, a leaf is not a tissue, but it is an organ. So question 4. The graph shows how pH affects the rate of an enzyme-controlled reaction. So this graph here, it is simply showing how pH affects the rate of enzyme-controlled reaction. So which letter on the graph shows the optimum pH? So on these letters on this graph, which one is showing optimum pH? So with optimum pH, it is the pH at which an enzyme works best. An enzyme will work best at point C. Okay, so this is the rate of reaction, and this is the pH, this side in the x-axis. So as it increases, even the rate of reaction is increasing. Now the point where it works the best, the highest, that is what we call the optimum pH. Okay, so the optimum pH is that pH there, which is C. Okay, it is showing optimum. At that point it was optimum, and then from there it dropped. So the correct answer for question 4 is C. Question 5. Okay, so question 5 reads, the table shows results of some food tests. So this table is showing some results of food tests. Which sample shows food containing both starch and proteins? Which sample shows food containing both starch and proteins? So here on this table we have Benedict's solution, which is used to test for reducing sugars. We have buretic reagent, which is used to test for protein. Ethanol is used to test for fats, and iodine solution is used to test for starch. And our question here, they're asking which food samples shows foods containing both starch and protein. So in this table, we're just interested in protein, which is burette reagent, and iodine solution. That's what we are interested in. So when you are testing for proteins, the solution, the positive result in the food should turn purple. So when the food solution turns purple, that is a positive result for burette reagent. And for iodine solution, when you are testing for starch, the positive results should be blue-black. Okay. So now to answer the question, which sample shows food containing protein, both proteins and starch? So here the correct answer is this one, which is purple and blue-black. So when the food sample turns purple, that is positive results for proteins when using buretic reagent. And then when food sample after addition of iodine solution turns blue-black, then that is the positive results for starch. Okay, so the correct answer here is B. Okay, but here under Benedict's solution, the positive result is red, and in this case we have blue. So meaning in this food sample, reducing sugars are not there. And then for ethanol, we know the solution should turn cloudy, and we have a clear solution there, meaning the fats are not there. So this sample shows only proteins, positive results for proteins and starch. Okay, so the correct answer here is B. The positive results are for starch, which is blue-black, and proteins, which is purple. We move on to question 6. Which nutrient is needed to make the hemoglobin in red blood cells? A, calcium, B, iron, C, roughage, D, vitamin D. Okay, so which one is needed to make hemoglobin. So iron is needed to make hemoglobin. So the correct answer here is B. Calcium and vitamin D are needed for bone formation, and roughage is simply needed in the small intestines to facilitate the movement of food in the alimentary canal. But for iron is needed for hemoglobin. So question 6, the correct answer is B. Question 7, a plant has weak cell walls. Which of the following nutrients was the plant lacking? A plant has weak cell walls. Which of the following nutrients was the plant lacking? A, boron, B, calcium, C, nitrogen, D, potassium. So the correct answer here is calcium. So calcium is needed for formation of cell walls and other structures, which helps in the integrity of a plant. Okay, and then potassium is mostly for root formation, and nitrogen is needed for chlorophyll trapping or in a plant. Okay, so the correct answer here for cell wall. Okay, so if a plant lacks cell wall, if a plant lacks calcium, the cell wall will be weak. Okay, so question 7, the correct answer is B. Question 8. The diagram shows a section through a leaf. Which arrow represents the diffusion? Okay, so which arrow represents the diffusion of oxygen during photosynthesis? Okay, so during photosynthesis, oxygen diffuses inside the leaf and carbon dioxide diffuses out of the leaf through the stomata, through some pores under the leaf, which are called stomata. So here we have the opening there, which is called the stomata, and the cells which forms these pores are called guard cells. So B is simply the diffusion of oxygen inside that the leaf, and A is diffusion of carbon dioxide out of the leaf. But the question is asking for the arrows which represent the diffusion of oxygen during photosynthesis, which is B. So oxygen will diffuse inside the cell and carbon dioxide will diffuse out of the cell. So the correct answer for question 8 is B. Question 9. A tick feeding on the blood of a dog is an example of. A tick feeding on the blood of a dog is an example of A, commensalism, B, mutualism, C, parasitism, D, predation. So the correct answer here is parasitism. We have this tick is feeding on the blood of the dog. So the dog here is not benefiting, and since it is feeding on the blood of the dog here is also harmed. So that is a very good definition of a parasite. So parasitism is where we have an organism feeding on another organism. In the same process, the host organism is harmed. Okay, so we have a parasite on a smaller organism feeding on a bigger organism, and that host organism is also harmed. That is parasitism. Then predation, in most cases, we have an organism which is larger feeding on smaller organism, where the smaller organism are completely killed and eaten. That is under predation. And mutualism, here we have a relationship between two organisms benefiting from each other without harming. Okay, so without causing harm, but they benefit from each other. That is mutualism. And then commensalism, here we have one organism, mostly smaller, benefiting from another without causing harm to the host. Okay, without causing harm to that host, but the smaller organism is the only one which is benefiting, that is commensalism. So here, question 9, the correct answer is parasitism. Ticks are parasites, they harm the host. Question 10. Question 10 reads, the dental formula of a dog is incisors, that is x over 3. Then we have canines 1 and 1. And premolars we have 4 and 4 on the lower jaw. Then molars we have 2 on the upper jaw and 3 on the lower jaw. So the total number of teeth in the mouth of the dog is 42. Find the value of x. So they're asking us to find the value of x, which is the number of incisors in the upper jaw. So on that formula there, what they have done, let's say this is the jaw of a dog with some teeth of the dog there. So what they do under dental formula, they just get half of the jaw. That is what is portrayed there. Okay, so in a dog, we know that incisors, we have 3 on the upper jaw and 3 on the lower jaw. So if we know the number, meaning you can just go direct there and pick the correct answer. But in some cases where you have forgotten the number of incisors in the upper jaw, what you can do is that you can use this total number. So the total number is 42, but we know that on the upper jaw, there on the upper jaw, we only have 10. We have 10, that is half. Okay, we have 10. And then on the lower jaw here, we must have 11 in total. So we can just add the teeth which is on the upper jaw and equate them to the total number, which is 10. Okay, so half of the upper jaw has 10 in total. So we are going to say x plus that 1, then plus 4 plus 2 equals to 10. Okay, so it is equals to 10. So we are going to have our x plus, so 1 plus 4, which is 5, plus 2, we're going to have 7 here, is equals to 10. Then our x is equals to 10 minus 7. Okay, so 10 minus 7 here will be just 3. Okay, will be just 3. So the number or the value of x is 3. Okay, so the value of x here is 3. So we have used the 10. Why? Because on the upper jaw, half of the upper jaw, the total number of teeth in a dog is 10. Okay, so we equate that, then you find the value of x, which is 3. So the correct answer for question 10 is B. Question 11. The diagram shows the human alimentary canal. Which labeled structure produces gastric juice? So this is a labeled structure of the alimentary canal, which is a long tube running from the mouth to the anus there. So they're asking to say which labeled structure produces gastric juice. Okay, so gastric juice is produced in the stomach. So in this case, the correct answer is B. So gastric juice is produced in the stomach. Then in the pancreas produces what we call pancreatic juice, and the small intestines produces what we call intestinal fluid. Okay, but the stomach produces gastric juice. So the correct answer for question 11 is B. Question 12. The diagram shows a gill of a fish. So this is a gill of a fish. In which labeled part does gaseous exchange take place? Okay, so the most highly blood supplied part is T. So that T is where gaseous exchange takes place. So gaseous exchange takes place in T, which is D. So the correct answer there is D. That is the highly mostly blood supplied area, and it looks reddish in color. So that's where gaseous exchange takes place. So oxygen would diffuse in blood, carbon dioxide would diffuse out of the blood. So the correct answer is D. Question 13. The diagram shows the life cycle of a mosquito. So this diagram here is a life cycle of a mosquito. Which stage in the life cycle of the mosquito transmits pathogens? So pathogens in a mosquito cycle is transmitted by an adult mosquito. So we have a pupa, larva, and now we have an adult mosquito. So adult mosquito carries pathogens, and then when you are bitten by a mosquito, it will inject a certain stage of Plasmodium falciparum parasite in the blood. Okay, so the adult mosquito is the one which transmits pathogens. So in this case, the correct answer is A. Question 14. Stigma against people living with HIV and AIDS can be reduced by A. Fear, B. Lack of information, C. Myth, D. Sensitization. So stigma against people with HIV and AIDS can be reduced by sensitization, where you teach people and you disseminate information about HIV and AIDS so that people are not scared, so that you let know what HIV AIDS is all about, and you try to counsel and also tell the people that they shouldn't be scared. Okay, so that is what we call sensitization. You let the people know about the condition, which is HIV and AIDS. So this can help reduce stigma in people with HIV and AIDS. Sensitization. So correct answer here is D for question 14. Then we move on to question 15. The diagram shows some storage organs in plants. So these are storage organs in plants. Now the question reads, which of the following correct identifies these organs? Which of the following correctly identifies these organs? A. We have comb, rhizome and tuber. Then B, we have comb, tuber, rhizome. C, rhizome, comb, tuber, rhizome, tuber, and comb. So the correct answer here, we know that this is a tuber, and this is a comb, and then this is a rhizome. So we have rhizome in P, and then we have a tuber in Q, and we have a comb in R. So the correct answer here is D. So this is a tuber, then the rhizome is this one, which is P, and that one there is a comb. So the correct answer is D for question 15. Okay, question 16. The table shows the blood groups in human beings. So this table here is simply showing blood groups in human beings, which are A, B, and O. Which blood group can be donated to any person? So blood group which can be donated to any person is blood group O, because blood group O is a universal donor. Okay, so blood group A can only be donated to blood group A and also blood group AB. Blood group B can only be donated to blood group B and blood group AB. Blood group AB can only be donated to blood group AB, and blood group O can only be donated to all those types of blood groups. Okay, why? Because blood group O do not have antigens. So antigens are not there in blood group O. Okay, so blood group O is the universal donor. So to donate blood group O can give to anyone. So the correct answer here is D. Question 17. The diagram shows a section of the human heart. So this is a section of the human heart. Okay, so what is the function of the structure labeled Q? So this structure here labeled Q, what is the function? So the function of structure Q is to prevent backflow of blood into part P. So these are the valves. Those valves are called mitral valve. Okay, so those are mitral valves, or we can call them bicuspid valve. Okay, bicuspid valves. Mitral valves, so those are mitral valves. They prevent backflow of blood into part P. Okay, they prevent the backflow of blood into part P. So the correct answer here is they prevent backflow of blood into part P, which is C. So for question 17, the correct answer is C. So these valves, they are going to close when these ventricles contract. So when the left ventricle contract to pump blood into the aorta, the valve here is going to close so that blood do not backflow into part P there. So the correct answer here is C. Question 18. What is urea made? Where is urea made and where is it removed? So urea is made in the liver and removed by the kidney. So the kidney is an excretory organ, we know, so it is going to remove urea. Then deamination, this urea is made from proteins, so the proteins are going to be deaminated, then the result will be urea. That is done in the liver. So the correct answer here is C. Question 19. The diagram shows a section through the human skin. So this is a section through a human skin. Which labeled structure release sweat on a hot sun day? So what releases sweat is the sweat gland. This is a hair follicle. That is the muscle which holds the follicle, and then we have the nerves there. Then we have this structure here, which is the sweat gland. So the sweat gland, during a sunny day, they are going to release sweat in order to aid in cooling of the body, to reduce the temperature. The sweat glands are going to secrete sweat. So the correct answer here is C. Question 20. Which one of the following is not an endocrine gland? A. Pancreas. B. Salivary. C. Testes. D. Thyroid. So which one among these is not an endocrine? So endocrine, these are glands which secretes hormones. So it's a system which involves secreting of endocrine hormones. Okay, so the organs here which secretes hormones are the pancreas, testes, and the thyroid. So this one secretes thyroxine. This one will release the hormone which is testosterone. Then the pancreas is going to release insulin, is a hormone, and glucagon. But the saliva releases enzymes which are salivary amylase and mucin, which helps for easy swallowing of food. So B is not an endocrine gland. Okay, so pancreas is both an exocrine and endocrine gland. It secretes enzymes and hormone, so it is also an endocrine gland. So here, the one which is not an endocrine gland is salivary gland. Question 21. When the nervous system responds to a stimulus, There are several stages leading to the response. The following are the stages. 1. The central nervous system process the information. 2. The receptors detect the stimulus. 3. A nerve impulse is sent to the central nervous system. 4. A response is produced. 5. A nerve impulse is sent to the muscle. Okay, so now, what is the correct order of the stages? So the first thing we have to sense, which is the receptor will detect the stimulus. That is the first step, which is 2. Okay, so this is the first. Now, after detecting the stimulus, the nerve impulse will be sent, okay, to the central nervous system. Okay, so the nerve impulse, meaning a nerve impulse will be sent to the central nervous system, meaning 3 is the second response. Then from there, after sending it to the central nervous system, now the central nervous system will process the information. After processing, it will send a response. So the nerve impulse will be sent to the muscle, okay, which is 5, and now the muscle will produce a response. A response will be produced by the muscle. So the first one is 2, followed by 3. After that, followed by 1. So the sequence is 2, 3, 1, 5, and 4. So the first one is the receptors will sense the stimulus, that is 2, and then followed by 3, which is a nerve impulse will be sent to the central nervous system after being sensed. Then followed by 1, which is the central nervous system processing the information and sending it to 5, which is the muscle. Then finally the muscle will produce a response. So the correct answer here is A for question 21. Question 22. The diagram shows a lens that is used to correct a defect in human eye. So we have this lens here, which is used to correct a defect in a human eye. Okay, so which defect is corrected by the lens? So we have this lens here, then they're asking to say which defect is corrected by the lens. So we have A, cataracts, B, long sight, C, presbyopia, and presbyopia, and D, short sight. So cataracts is simply accumulation of cloud-like structures on the eye, as depicted on this diagram here. That is what we call cataracts. So we have a cloud-like thing appearing, accumulating on the lens there. Okay, so in most cases here, we don't give lens to correct that structure. What they do, they will remove the lens and put an artificial lens. Okay, that is what we call cataracts. And now, long sight. So long sight here, someone can only see things which are further, which are away, very far from him. Okay, things which are short, near him, can't see. And then presbyopia is loss of sight due to aging. As someone ages, the sight for seeing very near object is lost. Then D, that is short sight, where you are able to only see things which are near you. You are not able to see things which are further from you. Now, how are these diseases corrected? So now let's see on this diagram here. So hyperopia, this is long sight, and it is controlled by a convex lens, like the one which is in the diagram. Whenever you see a concave lens which has something like curves in the middle there, then just know that here we are correcting myopia, which is short sight. So short sight is corrected by a concave lens and a convex lens, which has smooth curved shape, is used in long sight. Okay, so now the problem in hyperopia is that the focus of image is done behind the eye. Okay, instead of being focused on the retina of the eye, the focusing of the image is done beyond the eyeball. Okay, so to correct that, we need a convex lens which can bring the focus inward on the retina there. That is hyperopia, which is long sight. So now to correct short sight, we need a concave lens which can widen the rays so that they are focused on the retina there, because the problem here, the focusing is done before reaching the retina. Okay, so now in our question here, in the diagram we have a convex lens, so this is done in long sight. So the correct answer here is B. That lens there is to correct the long sight. So when the rays of light comes, they will be focused here on the retina. Why? Because we have a problem of long sight. So the correct answer here is B. Question number 23. Okay, so question number 23. The diagram shows part of a mammalian skeleton. So this is part of the mammalian skeleton in the lower limb, that is in the leg. So we have the femur, then we have these two bones here, which is the tibia, the bigger one, the tibia, and the smaller one. The smaller one is the fibula. So now the question is asking us to say, which of the following correctly identifies the bone labeled W and the type of skeleton? So A, fibula and endoskeleton, B, patella, C, scapula, B, tibia. Okay, so the part which is labeled W, the smaller bone in the lower limb, this one here is the fibula, and it is in the endoskeleton. The skeleton which is found inside the flesh is the endoskeleton. Exoskeleton is in insects mostly, so that is the fibula, and the tibia is this other bigger bone, that is the tibia. So the correct answer here is A, as you can see in this diagram here. So the tibia is this bigger bone and the smaller bone is the fibula. Okay, so the correct answer for question 23 is A. Question 24. The diagram shows an experiment carried out in order to establish the process of tropism in plants. So this is done in order to investigate the process of tropism in plants. What type of tropism was exhibited by the shoot of the potted plant? So we have this plant here, which was set before, and then after a week we have observed that the shoot is growing upward. So now they are asking to say what type of tropism is exhibited by the shoot, that shoot there, of the potted plant. So A, negative geotropism, B, negative phototropism, C, positive geotropism, D, positive hydrotropism. So hydro means growing toward water if it is positive. So hydro is water, geo, gravit, and B, photo, that is light. Okay, so if it is growing towards that stimuli, then we say it is positive. If it is growing away from that stimuli, then it is negative. But in this case here, we have gravit, which is pulling down, but the plant is growing away from the gravity. So this is what we call negative geotropism. So this plant is portraying negative geotropism. The correct answer is A. It is growing away from gravity. Question 25. The diagram shows the early growth of a green plant. So we have this plant here. It has grown bigger and larger. Now the question goes further to say what is occurring in the diagram from P to Q. So from P here to Q, what is happening? So from P to Q, what is happening is that mitosis, which is division of cells, is taking place so that the plant grows. Okay, so the height of the plant will increase due to mitosis. So that is a tick. Then development. So development as well is taking place, where we see the plant is growing and it is growing bigger. So both development and mitosis is taking place here. So the correct answer is A. Okay, so 25, correct answer is A. 26. Some seeds were sown in 4 dishes under different conditions as shown in the table. So this table is just showing some conditions under which some seeds were sown in. So the question reads, in which dish will the seed germinate most rapid? So a seed will germinate at an optimum temperature, mostly 20. Then mostly a seed will grow in wet regions, not when it is dry. That's why plantation of seeds and farming takes place in dry season, in wet season when rain starts. Why? Because water is also needed for germination, and the temperature must be optimal, must be higher, not in cold regions. So the correct answer here is 4. The temperature must be 20 and it should be wet for a seed to grow. So the correct answer here is D for question 26. Question 27. The diagram shows asexual reproduction in unicellular organism. So this is asexual reproduction. What name is given to the type of asexual reproduction? A, binary fission, B, budding, C, fragmentation, and D, spore formation. So in this diagram here, where we have an adult cell dividing on the middle and forming cells of equal size, that is what we call binary fission. Budding, we have a big organism, then it will bud to just form like a bud which is small, which will bud off from that organism. Then the parent cell will be big, the budded cell will be small. That is under budding. But where we have one cell dividing equally, forming 2 daughter cells which are equal and identical, that is what we call binary fission, and it's mostly seen in bacteria. So the correct answer for question 27 is binary fission. Question 28. The diagram shows one method of artificial vegetative propagation. So this is one method of vegetative propagation. What type of artificial vegetative propagation is demonstrated in the diagram? A, budding, B, grafting, C, layering, D, stem cutting. Okay, so before I answer the question, let's understand what budding, grafting, and layering is. Okay, so layering is where we have a grown plant and we bend one stem in the soil. You bend one stem in the soil, and then that stem will start developing roots and it will grow in an adult plant. That is what we call layering, and these are the types of layering. So you can bring sand to a big tree, and then from there, the part which is covered by sand, it will develop roots, and then we will have three different plants there. That is what we call layering. Okay, and then budding, we get a bud from a tree, then put it on another tree. Okay, that is what we call budding. Then apart from budding, we have grafting. Now grafting, we get a new shoot and put it in another plant of the same species. Okay, that is where we do, that is what we call grafting. We get a shoot and cut a tree, a stem, and insert that shoot, aligning the vessels, which are the xylem and the phloem. Provided they are inlined, then that plant will grow into a bigger grown plant. So that is grafting. So going back to our question now, what type of artificial vegetative propagation which is shown here? So that one is this one which is here. So that is what we call grafting. Okay, so that is grafting. So that is grafting, where we have a layer of a tree being removed and being put on another tree. Okay, so that is grafting. Budding, you get a bud and put it on another tree. You don't get the whole bunch with the layer there. Okay, no, that is budding, not grafting. So this is budding in short. Okay, so we have a bud there, then you put it on another plant. Sorry for that, correcting that mistake. Okay, so we have budding. So this is a bud of a tree. It is being put on another tree. So that is budding. So that is what is being shown on this diagram here. Here, that is budding. We remove a bud and put it on another tree. Okay, so that is budding, not grafting. So grafting is where we get a shoot and insert it on another tree, on another part of a tree. Okay, so the correct answer here is A, which is budding, on question 28. Question 29. The diagram shows some part of a flower. Where are the male gametes? Okay, so these are the parts. We have the sepal here, and then we have the stigma there, then we have the anther. So the C is the male part and B is the female part. So C, which is the anther, will produce male gametes, which are what we call pollen grains. So C is the correct answer. Okay, so pollen grains will be produced and they will fall on the stigma, they travel there, and fertilization will take place in the stigma female part. Okay, so question 29, the correct answer is C. Question 30. Which fruit will be dispersed by wind? Which fruit will be dispersed by wind? A, have fleshy and is scented fruit, and then B, we have light weight and has a wing. Okay, so the correct answer here is B, a light weight and the one which has a wing. It can be dispersed by wind. Okay, and then question number 31. Question number 31. The diagram shows the female reproductive system. So this is the female reproductive system. Where does fertilization take place? So fertilization would take place in the fallopian tube. Fallopian tube, that's where fertilization will take place, and then from there, the zygote would travel. Okay, the fertilized egg would travel and implant in B, which is the uterus. Okay, so fertilization is taking place in A, implantation is in B, and then in G, that is the vagina, where copulation takes place. Correct answer for question 31 is A. Question 32. The diagram shows some methods of birth control. Which one is a hormonal method? So here we have male condoms, female condoms, then we have intrauterine tubes, intrauterine devices, and then we have contraceptive pills. So contraceptive pills are hormonal methods. Okay, hormonal methods are contraceptive pills because they work on controlling the hormones of a woman. Question 33. A study was made of children whose mother was blood group O, with the genotype there, and the father blood group AB, the genotype AB. Which statement about their children is correct? A, all will have the same blood group. B, 50% will have the same blood group as their mother. C, 50% will have the same blood group as their father. D, none will have the same blood group as their parent. So the correct answer is D. None will have the same blood group as their father. So we have blood group O in the mother crossed with blood group AB in the father. AB. So what will happen is that if this one crosses with that, we are going to have blood group A in this case. Then if this one crosses with that, we are going to have blood group B in this case. But if these other are real, this one crosses with that, we are going to have blood group A in this case. Then if it crosses with this one, we are going to have blood group B. Okay, so when you look at these blood groups here, you would find that all these blood groups are different from the parents. This is blood group A, and then this is blood group B, this is blood group A, then this is blood group B. So we do not have a blood group which is similar to these parents here, to these parents, which are, so the parents had blood group O and blood group AB. So none will have the same blood group as either parents is the correct answer, which is D. So none of the offsprings will have the blood group as their parent. Question 34. Which of the following is a beneficial use of mutation? A, creation of nuclear plants. B, formation of ultraviolet light. C, making of polyploid plants in agriculture. And D, making X-ray machines in hospitals. So the correct answer here is C, making polyploid plants in agriculture. So here what they do, they will get some genes and mutate them. Okay, the chromosomes will be mutated, and then they will form plants which will produce bigger, like in fruits. Then the fruits will be big as compared to the way they are naturally. So that is beneficial of mutations. So the benefit of mutations. So the correct answer is C. It is in polyploid plants where we have more than normal number of chromosomes, and the result is that the fruits which will be produced will be bigger than the ones which are produced naturally. So the correct answer for question 34 is C. Question 35. So question 35. Okay, so question 35. Which of the following is a characteristic of a fish? So, characteristics of a fish: maintain constant body temperature. Yes, so a fish can maintain constant body temperature. External ears. So a fish do not have external ears. And then jelly covered eggs. Yes, fish covers their eggs with jelly, then they have scales. So the correct answer here is B. Question 36. Which factor will cause a decrease in population size? So decrease in population size will be caused by, decrease in population size will be caused by decreased food supply. Okay, so if we decrease the supply of food, people will be starving and they will die. Okay, so the correct answer here is C. Question 37. The diagram shows part of the carbon cycle. The diagram shows part of the carbon cycle. What does arrow X represent? So arrow X there, what does it represent? So we have a plant here. It can be fed by animals. No, it is producing oxygen, which is used by animals. Then when it dies, to produce dead matter. But now it is getting oxygen, and it is using carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen there. So that process where we have carbon dioxide diffusing in a plant and oxygen being removed. Okay, so this exchange here is what we call photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, a plant will take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So we have seen the arrows there. The plant is getting the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide plus water, you know the photosynthesis equation. So what will be released is oxygen there in the atmosphere. But now here, what we can see is that we do not have oxygen, we have carbon dioxide there. So it is getting in carbon dioxide, and some of the carbon dioxide is coming out of the plant. So that is respiration. During respiration, carbon dioxide will be released, okay? Not oxygen. So here it's carbon dioxide is released, so the level of carbon dioxide will increase. So release of carbon dioxide by plant is respiration. Respiration. So the correct answer here is D. Question 38. Which of the following is an effect of deforestation? A. Decrease carbon dioxide content in the air. B. Decrease flooding of low-lying land. C. Increased rainfall. D. Increased rate of soil erosion. So the correct answer here is D. The effect of deforestation, cutting down trees, will increase rate of soil erosion. 39. Some example of waste products of human activity are discarded household rubbish, excess fertilizer, industrial chemicals, and untreated sewage. Which of these can cause increased growth of aquatic plants? Which of these can cause increased growth of aquatic plants? So increased growth of aquatic plants can be caused by untreated sewage and also excess in fertilizer. So if you use excess fertilizer and we have untreated sewage, we'll have increase in growth of aquatic plants. So that is the correct answer is C. Question 40. Which of the following is a sustainable use of resources? A. Deforestation. B. Game keeping. C. Overfishing. D. Overhunting. So a sustainable use of resources is what we call seen in game keeping, where you keep the wild animals in game keeping areas. So that is a sustainable use of resources. So the correct answer for question 40 is B. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comment in the comment section below.